it's hard when Gary and George are older.
Yeah, careful, careful.
It's definitely a strange and exciting time for Thimblestump Hollow. Is it this? Is it this? Repeat after me. Frustrated.
Frustrating. Every time I say that word now, I think of you, Chris. Frustrating. Oh, damn it, Chris. Hey, toy family. Welcome to the Marsham Toy Hour, where we discuss anything and everything designer toys. I'm Gary Ham.
I'm Theresa Hawkins.
And George is not joining us today. He's on his honeymoon out there in Iceland. But joining us is the wonderful and great Chris Ryniak. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, everybody. I don't know about the wonderful and great stuff, but I'll take it.
I still think you're wonderful and great.
Of course you're wonderful and great.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
This is the first episode of Season 4.
Wow. First of 2019, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's screw this year up right. Let's start off.
No, we're gonna be bigger and better this year. I'm gonna make a conscious effort.
I'm definitely bigger. I don't know about better. I ate a lot over the holidays.
Same thing here. I haven't done my top button in a couple weeks.
I'm sweatpants every day now.
Sweet. I mean, how was your guys' breaks? Good? You guys all recharged and ready for the new year?
No.
I think I'm ready.
Think you're ready?
I mean, I don't think I have a choice.
Yeah, no, you don't. You're self-employed. You got to hit it hard.
Yeah.
Hit it running.
I'm self-employed. I definitely took a really extended break since decon. I haven't been posting drawings or anything, but I'm like ready to do it. Like my kids are going back to school on Monday, so I'm gonna treat that as the official start of the year.
That sounds good. I ended my year with 2 weeks off of work. I had a long list of things I wanted to do and get accomplished during that time. I did maybe 25% of it. I had a bunch of wood toys I wanted to make, and I got as far as cleaning up the garage to do so, but that's as far as I got. My kids were both off of work, so we did a lot of family projects, a lot of family time was spent, and yeah, it was fun. But I will make more wood toys in 2019
I'm going to hold you to it.
Sure.
You said it. Now you got to do it.
I played a lot of video games.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I've been waiting a really long time for Red Dead Redemption 2 to come out, and bought it just before decon, and then there was just no way I was even going to look at it until the holidays.
Are you a cowboy, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Well, the really great thing about that game is there's a facial hair growing mechanism in it, so you have to shave or your hair will grow out of control. And everybody knows I can't grow a beard. So I'm living vicariously through my character.
There is nothing wrong with living vicariously through a character. I don't play many video games now, but I remember back when I used to play Grand Theft Auto. Oh my God, I would have my character working out and taking chicks out on dates, and I was parachuting out of the planes, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. That was fun.
Sounds like The Sims.
Yeah, kinda, but a little more nefarious.
We're going to get talking toys in a few minutes here, I promise. But there is one, if you're into video games, there's a new game that came out for the Nintendo Switch and the PC. It's called Grizz. If you have not watched the trailer or looked at anything, it is the most artistically beautiful video game I have ever seen. And the score is amazing. It's something you definitely need to check out.
Well, we're a big video game household here, and I actually just bought Amanda a Switch for Christmas. It was actually post-Christmas.
Nice.
And she's been a gamer for a really long time. Like, she's like a legit gamer. So
okay.
I'm an occasional gamer. So we'll have to check that out.
No, definitely do. It's beautiful. I think you will not be disappointed.
How do you spell it, Gary? G-R-I-S?
Yep, G-R-I-S. So let's move on and talk about some toys. So during our break, one of the big things that was going on was a giveaway that Super Plastic was doing. It was kind of advent calendar styled, and it was called the Radvent giveaway. And 24 straight days of giveaways. All you had to do was tag someone in the post. Very simple. And Chris, you did not have the pleasure of being tagged 24 straight days in a row like George and I did, but it paid off. Theresa, I saw that you won something, so congrats on that.
I did. I won like one of the biggest prizes. Thank you.
Whoa, what'd you win?
I won, let me go look at the post and make sure I read it correctly. It says, win every single large vinyl toy made in 2018. That's the one I won. It's pretty cool.
Nice,
no, I couldn't believe
congrats.
it. I cursed at my phone. I said, holy shit, out loud.
What?
It popped up. It was like, well, so you're looking at your phone and it said Super Plastic mentioned you in a story. And I'm like, oh, like, what is this about? And I clicked it and it says, congrats, winner, TM Hawk, DMS to claim. And so I literally went, oh, holy shit. I was like, oh my God. So
they did a great job with that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Not only were people receiving their Jankies and all their, Kickstarter reward backings just before the holidays, or most people tended to. I know I did. Theresa, did you ever receive your actual backer reward?
I did. So I was gone as well. I had to hold my mail for a couple weeks. I went to Florida to visit family. And so when I came back, it was actually really funny. I went to go get it from the post office and the guy's like, you didn't really get any actual mail, but you have a ton of packages. And he came out with 2 plastic totes of them. I was like, oh my gosh.
The back seat just filled with boxes.
With just toy deliveries. But one of them was my backer rewards from Super Plastics. I did get the rest of my stuff. But yeah, no, the calendar was super fun, and I appreciate you all were very nice. George never really even said anything about it, and I was also tagging Nick, one of our listeners, so thank you, Nick, for dealing with that. But I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to keep tagging the same 3 people. So every day I'd be...
Oh, yeah. But they were really cool, giveaways. It wasn't just some shitty leftover giveaway. They were giving away full cases to Series 2 that's not even out yet, a figure Janky 3.5 that's not even sold to the masses, a Janky menorah, an ornament, cookie cutter, lots of unique, very interesting, cool giveaways. So who's ever behind the marketing of Super Plastic is doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, that's a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
Doing that kind of stuff.
There were some, there was a giant 40-gallon drum of lube. I'm not really sure what that was about.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Luckily, you could kind of choose what you entered, so that didn't go on my list because God knows if I'd won that, what I would have done with it. But yeah, no, it was super cool.
No, the last couple weeks of December, my social media feed was just full of collectors posting what they were receiving from Super Plastic. Just tons and tons of pictures of Jankies and the collections. People overall seemed really, really excited about what they were receiving.
I saw some of the posts, and I saw a lot of people complaining about dupes.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I definitely saw a lot of chatter, for sure, Gary, both on Instagram and on Facebook. I did see, I think the shipping stuff we talked about last season was kind of an issue. There are still some people who haven't got their backer rewards, yet they're seeing other people get them and seeing other people get shipments of toys that were sold after the Kickstarter. So I think that's been a little bit frustrating. But yeah, the second thing is what Chris is mentioning, the dupes. I got a really good case, apparently. But there are some people where their case is literally just sets of 2. 2 of this, 2 of that, 2 of this, 2 of that.
Oh, and really?
They're missing a lot of designs. Yeah. So,
that's definitely an old school way of, that's how old Dunny cases used to be. And actually they still are. That it's a real gamble in terms of what you're going to get. And personally, I don't like to lay cases out like that. I mean, that's why we did ours the way that we did. For me, that seems more frustrating than, making me want to buy more, to get the ones that I want.
Yeah. What you're talking about is that ratio model where things are super rare and they don't come in every case. And I love what you guys are doing with Thimblestump Hollow, Unbox is doing with Unbox and Friends, where if you get a case, you get one of everything, at least one of all the original colorways. I think that's awesome. And then you might get 2 chases or 2 variant colorways at the end, but you at least get one of everything. And I think that's how they should be. That's how I would want them to be. If I dropped $100, $200 on a case, I would expect at least one of everything. I wouldn't want to be missing anything.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a lot of money to buy all those, and you're going to get casual collectors that are like, hey, I just want a couple of these, and I'll be happy with whichever ones I get. But then you get the people that want them all. It just kind of seems like you're punishing them a little bit, and I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I don't want to speak ill of Jankies or anything. I think they're a pretty great looking product, and it's still super exciting. That's just a pet peeve. I wouldn't lay it out like that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you, Chris. But I received 5, and I did receive dupes. I received duplicates of the Macbeth one, but it has actually ham written across the knuckles on one of the hands. So I thought that was cool because that kind of represents my brother and I, as you know, it's like the ham twins. So I'm going to keep that set.
Oh, nice.
Overall, I gotta say, Chris, the quality is phenomenal. Like,
oh, that's great.
It by far exceeded my expectations for them.
No, I know I've already kind of spoken my opinion. I agree. I think they were done well. I just want to comment on the case thing. I'm a weird collector who kind of is on the fence because in some ways it's kind of fun to play the blind box game, but at the same time it can be super, super frustrating if you're only after certain ones or want the whole complete set. So
I think that's like where chase colorways can really help. Because
there's still a hunt aspect to there.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, oh, well, I got 2 of them. Now I want the rest of them. But you still have every figure that you wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
So
because there's something fun. You all have to admit there's something fun. I mean, maybe it's just the collector in me, but there's something fun about that hunt, about trying to find a specific one that you want or a specific color. It's fun.
No, there's definitely been a few series in the past that I bought a couple that hoping for a specific one or a specific couple, and I always get the one that seems like the one that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Teresa, just be like Chris and myself to where we just buy individually, and then you'll always have that struggle of the hunt or not getting what you want. You'll get that.
No, but see,
just stop buying cases, and you'll be good.
I'm going to be a big contradiction because I still want them all.
Teresa, don't stop buying cases, please.
Yeah.
You're funding half the industry.
The whole scene will collapse, Gary.
You're the backbone of the industry, Teresa. I don't know what we do without you. But I want to rewind and go back and talk about more Unbox because I know a couple episodes back we were commending them on what a great job they did with Unbox and Friends, and we were talking about all the aspects of it where they have the different colored tokens with different values inside every little individual box. Plus, they also have a mashup figure that you're mentioning, like a mashup between 2 different characters, like a nice collaboration that's also hidden somewhere in some cases out there, in addition to individual hand-painted customs that the artists in the series did, also hidden in some cases out there. And I noticed, I saw on Instagram, I saw 2 hand-painted finds were posted on Instagram, but have you seen any others? Do you know if all of them have been found? And have there been any other mashups discovered besides the one that you mentioned previously?
There's still hand-painted ones out there from what I've seen. There have been more found. There's actually an Unbox group created on Facebook if anyone's interested. There's actually 2 I'm in. One's called Unbox, Blindbox, Unbox and Friends Fan Club.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a lot. We can post links. And then the other one is called Elfie Traveler and Friends Fan Club. Both those groups are really international, so a lot of people overseas are posting stuff. So I've been able to see the one-offs that people have been finding, and people are even doing customs and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, those are good groups to follow. But I did find out that the mashup, the one crossover, that's the Greenie Panda combination. That's the only mashup in the current series.
I also
they did
know
not do
with the case. Okay, so it's just that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I mentioned like I was seeing a lot of Jankies in my feed, and it kind of made me think like I haven't seen, like the Decon Dunny series just released. Like I can't remember the last time a Dunny series had anything that was like posted on social media as close to what we saw with the Jankies. Is it just because Janky is a new platform, it's fresh, it's exciting, so collectors are wanting to share that? Is that, you think that's all it is?
Yeah. No, I think you're kind of spot on. I mean, Dunnies have been around for a really long time. And so
14, 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, people do share them. I do see posts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mail posts for Dunnies and stuff. But I think this Kickstarter being as big as it was and having as huge of a following in that it did, it doesn't really surprise me so much that it's being shared so much. And I think, like you said, it's fresh and it's new and it's different. And there's new collectors. I think people out there who haven't really been buying designer toys who followed the Kickstarter. So I think they're kind of excited in that way. They're like, oh, this new thing I haven't been collecting. They're here and excited to show them off kind of a thing. So I think it's just a combination of all of that.
Okay. Yeah, and I think it's a brand new platform too. I mean, they're still excited about it, and this is the first time anybody's seeing them actually in hand too. So,
sure.
You kind of, Dunny, like you said, Dunny's been around for a long time, and you kind of know what to expect. But I don't know. I think that when more interesting looking Dunnies come out, there's definitely some more excitement about them. But I think there was just a lot more marketing and a lot more noise. I mean, when things are coming out through Kidrobot, I almost don't hear about them, and I don't hear about it from them, which is very strange to me. But, being somebody who's trying to constantly promote the things that I'm making, it doesn't make sense to me. But I just might not be paying attention in the right places. But with Super Plastic, they definitely seem like they want people to pay attention. So and then it's paying off.
Yeah, no, they definitely created a great, fun environment around what they're doing. They always say that smiling is contagious, and I think that's a little bit of what's behind Super Plastic. People are enjoying it, and they're having fun, and they can't help but want to help Super Plastic celebrate and share their, what they picked up.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like they're building a sort of mini Super Plastic community, and I think the fact that it is a brand new platform and a brand new company, it's exciting to finally see something they've made in hand and be able to look at the quality and be like, oh, wow, they did do a good job. But I think the other thing, too, is that the customer service side is killer. So one of the hats, my hat for 2 bits, remember how I told you it broke, Gary?
Yeah.
I ended up reaching out to them and said, just, hey, my hat broke. I don't know if it's possible to get a replacement. Thought I'd ask. They're like, oh, like literally, oh, no problem. Give me your address. We're going to send you a new one. So I'm waiting for my replacement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But those kind of things make a huge difference. And from what I've heard, I'm not the only one. There's been people who, have questions about their order, or maybe something came missing something or whatever. And all of that, they've been super accommodating. So I think that's been just another cherry on top of the way they've been handling things. So.
Nice. And this weekend, we should start seeing the first, actually, I think it's Mothership Gallery is having the first Janky custom show. It's being held this weekend at the Mothership Gallery in Philadelphia. So not only are we going to start seeing what some of the more established artists in the toy scene did with it, but we're going to start seeing what the customizers are doing with it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that show has to offer.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because it's been fun. Because of that custom show, we are already starting to see custom versions of it. And so it's been cool to see how people are interpreting it. And Sad Salesman Eric's was really, really cute. He did this I don't even know what it is. It's just a cute kind of snaky octopus character, Gary? The green guy?
The Kid Kraken. That's what he called it, a little sea creature.
Does it say, is there a little guy on top of its head? Because apparently that's his trademark thing.
You'd think he would have, but he didn't.
He didn't, but Chris, you're right. I mean, things on top of things, that's his thing.
Yeah.
He owns that.
I just heard how angry he was that other people were doing it without his permission.
He definitely played that up at DCon. It was fun. He's joking, of course, but every time he saw a little character on top of someone else's head, and of course, a lot of people do that. So he'd go, that's mine. That's my idea. It was just kind of a funny ongoing joke he had at DesignerCon.
Yeah, we call that Master Blaster. Theresa, you might not know that. That's from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. There was a character that rode on the back of a larger character. So required watching for this weekend. You need to go.
Oh yeah,
watch
I'm sure she'll pop that on.
It has Tina Turner in it.
Okay, speaking of required watching, and I'm sorry this doesn't have anything to do with Jankies, but guess what? Guess what I finally did, you all?
Oh no! What did you watch?
I watched Goonies.
Yes, and what'd you think?
I actually enjoyed it. I was
Thanos
surprised.
is in it.
Who?
Thanos.
Wait.
Thanos.
Who's Thanos?
He was the older brother.
The older brother.
No way.
Yeah. Josh
Oh,
Brolin.
I had no idea. He was cute when he was young. Anyway, but no, I was like, all right, I got to fulfill a movie request. And I had written down the Goonies, and then you'd also talked about planes, trains, and automobiles, Gary, but I didn't get to that one. But I was like, I'm going to watch the Goonies. I'm going to watch the Goonies. And no, it was good. It was cute. Data is super adorable, and I recognized him because he's in Indiana Jones. I was like, oh, I know that kid.
I'm surprised you've actually seen that.
Of course I've seen stuff. Baby Sean Astin's adorable. But anyway, it was good. It was cute. I'm glad I watched it. So I think it was a good recommendation. And I finally fulfilled my duty.
Don't feel too bad because Amanda, she's not a big movie watcher and wasn't when she was younger. So most movies that you'd be like, oh yeah, she's seen that, she didn't see. So you're not the only one.
Well, it's hard when Gary and George are older.
Yeah, careful.
They're older than me. So like that movie was, I was like either 1 or 2, or I don't even know what the year was, but like it's an 80s movie. It's like I probably wasn't born yet. So, but no, it was cute. So I did finally fulfill my duty.
Nice.
Yeah, we're the guys that actually remember parts of the 70s. So
we're about the same age, I think, Chris. I don't know.
I'll be 43 this year. So.
Okay, I'll be 45.
I'm sorry, Gary.
Just go ahead, Theresa. Call me the old fart.
Anyway.
I know that's where you were going. So
No. But no, anyway, custom Jankies. It's fun to see that, and you can actually Marsham Toys has posted a few of them, but I think that'll be a fun go. And yeah, Jankies are cool.
I know they were sending out 8-inch blank Jankies to as surprise gifts to some customers, customizers out there. So I'm sure we'll hopefully maybe see what Squink and Fakir, Dr. A, and some others did with their platforms. They were just gifts. They're not obligated to do anything, but I would assume most of them are going to do something with it.
I know you didn't get one, Gary. Did you get one, Chris?
They did.
You did?
That's why I wasn't saying anything. Because I was like, oh, thanks for the free gift. It looks really good on my shelf.
Yeah, I think at one point, I think you told me 6 years ago you were done customizing vinyl. So
yeah, I think I've maybe done 2 since then.
Yeah.
And they didn't say, they said, well, we want to send you a gift. And I'm like, okay, great. So that it's taking up my shelf. It's a really nice piece. I might paint it a different color for myself. I might sculpt some actual feet for it. But the only thing I don't like about the design is the feet. That's the only thing I don't like. I think, and this is just a personal preference, as my fans know, I like to say it's not for me. The shoes they seem a little dated to me, that style. But the thing is made really well. I mean, it's a solid piece of vinyl. So manufacturing is really great. I can't speak to how the paint is on the minis yet because I haven't seen any, but the piece itself is really nice.
Yeah, that's good to hear. No, on the minis, it's phenomenal. It's so crisp, precise. Like I was trying to be picky, and I really, really couldn't find anything, at least on the ones I received.
No, and I'm picky, Gary, and so I put like my Hawkeye on. I'm like, ooh, is there, anything? And really, overall, no.
Yeah, like even on the ones that I'm thinking that's probably going to be really hard to produce. Like I'm looking at right now is the Jake Parker one, which is the one where it looks like it has a cyborg face in it, and it is so clean. There's no smudges. Everything is crisp. It's really, really impressive.
Good to hear.
All right, so another thing, we were talking about Unbox, and so I don't know if you guys saw this, but over the break there was a post that Unbox did that really piqued my interest. And you guys familiar with P. Fowler's Monsterisms?
Oh, yeah. Some of my first toys, actually.
Okay. Well, did you see they had a sneak peek of a new Snorse they had? It's a Snorse
I did see that.
Kind of rearing on the hind legs, and in the hashtags it said Monsterism 2.0. This is pure speculation, but if they are revamping the entire Monsterism line with Pete Fowler, that's going to be amazing. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I loved those original figures. I think they still hold up too.
Oh no, they definitely do.
Yeah, no, that's one of those before my time kind of toys, but like I know about, and I've always thought the designs are really cool. So I'm excited to see a revamped version of them if that's what they're going to do.
And speaking before your time and seeing if things hold up, I'm doing a new weekly segment. I don't know if we may occasionally mention it on the podcast, but since it needs visuals, if you follow us on Instagram or inside our Facebook group, on the weekly, I'm going to be posting a This Week in History post. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to find, just for that week, what was going on that week in designer toys. I'll try to go back as far as, most of the toy blogs. I'm using the toy blogs to go back in their archives and find things. But I'll post events, custom shows, toy releases. I'll also mention edition sizes, what things cost back then, and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be, for me, I did it for like 3 hours last night, and it was a fun dive going back in the history. So look forward to that on the weekly from us.
Woohoo! Nice. That'll be fun. I'm excited because I'm sure there'll be things that pop up that I haven't seen before.
Oh, there's going to be a lot. There'll be a lot of stuff. And one of the weird things, like an 8-inch Dunny in 2006, it had 2 accessories, like a headdress and a skirt. It was the Sket 1 King Tut Dunny. It was released this week, back in 2006. And how much do you think it cost, Chris?
Oh, was it 50?
No, $39.99. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. That's a steal.
It is. Now think about this. In January 6, 2009, the Rolito Land mini blind box figure series called French Kiss series, produced by Toy2R, those were $8.50 a blind box.
Wow. Oh my God.
$8.50.
So long ago.
I know. 13 years ago. It's crazy.
It's crazy because like my daughter just turned 13.
Congratulations. Happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah, it was but just thinking about that, like she wasn't even alive yet.
Oh wow. No, that is crazy.
But now she's a full-blown, fully capable human who does work for me. So
jealous. I want that. I can't wait till my boys can help out. But talking about the This Week in History thing, I enjoyed doing it. It was fun, but it was also time consuming because, as you know, when toy blogs do a post, that's not the week it's actually releasing. So what I had to do is just go back in time and look at the date. Start in January, but I'd all have to start scrolling through all the ones in December because the December post would usually mention what's coming out in January. So it did take a lot of time. Plus, I had to skim most of the descriptions looking for the release dates and stuff like that. So what I should probably do is just mention what was posted on Toy Blogs this week instead of what was actually released. But so far, I am enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully I can keep up with it. I probably spent 2 to 3 hours on it this week. I probably found a quality 15 to 20 things to mention, but I narrowed it down to 5. In the future, maybe I'll do more. But so follow us on Instagram and our Facebook group, and you can participate and learn about all those things that happened this week in history.
Man, yeah, you put the work in.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of putting work in, it's time to pay our bills. So let's mention some of our sponsors. Sponsors of the Marsham Toy Hour include 3D Retro, 3dretro.com for all your designer toys, needs, wants, and desires. And 3D Retro also has a beautiful brick and mortar location out there in Southern California, Burbank adjacent. 3D Retro is also an amazing producer of designer toys. They work with some of the best in the business. So be sure to check out anything they produce and keep an eye on them. Follow them on Instagram and social media. Also, there is StrangeCatToys.com. If you go to StrangeCatToys.com, be sure to load up that cart and use our promotional code MARSHAM at checkout, and you'll receive 10% off your entire order. And rounding off the stores is My Plastic Heart. My Plastic Heart is a shop located in New York City, but if you can't make it there, be sure to visit their online shop at MyPlasticHeart.com. If you happen to live in the United States and you purchase $75 or more, be sure to use our promo code TOYFAM, and you'll receive free shipping on that order. And to stay on top of all the latest and greatest in designer toy news, be sure to like and follow SpankyStokes.com and thetoychronicle.com. And be sure to download the Toy Chronicle app at any one of your favorite app stores.
Real quick, back to Unbox. So you had mentioned the Pete Fowler reveal, but they actually had a couple of posts at the end of the year where they were doing sneak peeks for 2019. There's a handful out there, but one that I saw that has me excited is it looks like they're going to keep doing different versions of the Traveler Elfie. So that's the one I actually posted of. You saw me taking pictures, Chris, on the ground at DesignerCon of my little Elfie with this suitcase. So they did a new version of it, but it seems like they're going to keep rolling with that series. They've got a cute little UK edition of like a British soldier, like the guys that stand in front of the castle or whatever. God, I sound terrible. They even have a castle. The guys who stand on guard. But anyway, I think that's really cute, and it makes me excited because it seems like they're going to keep rolling with that platform. So that should be fun.
No, we
Oh, wait.
actually right before Decon, just to keep the Unbox love flowing, they came out with the pink and white Rabbies.
Yes,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
I couldn't decide because Amanda collects vintage rabbit toys, and she collects in those two colors, and I couldn't decide which one to get because they were both so beautifully made, and so I just bought them both. So so
Yeah.
I actually got those, and we got them in the mail, and they're so nice. Like the paint on the eye is really, really nice. So
Wow.
hats off to them for continually
they-
making really nice pieces.
Yeah, it's funny that you've bought. So the blue and pink Rabbies releases. I kept looking at, and I actually ended up passing on them. And then they had more releases, and I was like, I can't decide, and I ended up passing on them. So I surprisingly don't own a Rabby yet. I'm sure I will at some point, but it's like I can't decide what color I want, and I know they're going to keep making some, so I'm like weirdly waiting. I don't know why, but I know I'll own
The good
one.
thing about collecting in specific colors is when it comes up, then you know which one to buy.
Yeah, I wish I had more of like a scope to somehow help rein in what I purchase, and sadly I don't. I go all over the place.
Chris, I saw you bought yourself a Christmas gift. I saw.
I did. So I bought myself the Cause blank slate figure.
Clean slate, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, clean slate.
I wanted to buy that one too.
And it's actually my second Cause piece. Somebody gifted me, our shipping manager Steve gifted me the Cause cat bank a million years ago. But I don't own any of the companion pieces, and I keep kicking myself in the butt because I had an original companion in my hand when they came out, and I could have bought it, and I didn't. I mean, I remember loving it at the time. It was so long ago, and I've just kind of passed it up. And I was out and about, and when the drop happened, because I knew it was an open edition, so there's gonna be a million of them made, but they're still hard to get. So I just looked at my phone and I tried getting through, and it didn't go through, and then it popped up and one was available, and I was able to put it in my cart. So Now I have the largest toy I own.
14 inches? That's huge.
Yeah, I thought, I have a King Corpse too, and I put it next to the King Corpse, and it dwarfs the King Corpse. I mean, it's huge.
Wow, I didn't realize they were that big.
Yeah, well, I didn't either until I got the box in the mail, and I got so I own a Cause piece now, and it wasn't for any resale or anything. It was just I wanted a piece since I passed on the Cause Pus Head piece, I passed on the dissected one, and then this one came up, and I really like it because I have two kids, and it kind of reminds me of my two kids. So
exactly,
because he's carrying two little versions of himself. So
and that's exactly what I was like at the park today. I had the one kid in my hand, the 4-year-old in my hand, and I'm picking up the other one. It was exact pose. That was me just a couple hours ago. So I would buy it for that reason.
Well, one thing I didn't realize, and this is probably just me not paying attention, because I don't collect a lot of stuff. I just collect the things that I like, and I didn't realize that it was being produced by Medicom.
Oh yeah.
And I mean this is like I said, I've never had any of these pieces in my possession, so the quality is amazing. It's heavy. Like I think the feet might be resin because this thing you can't knock it over. The feet are really, really heavy and solid.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a really substantial piece, and it's flawless. Like there's nothing out of place on that thing. So per Medicom, everything they make is awesome. So
now, are the kids? The kids are they detachable, or are they all kind of part of it? Is it like super glued together?
Well, they are. Interestingly, they're not attached. They're just being held there. So you would have to take the arm off to get them out, but they're not glued on.
See, I
so
like
they're
that.
just being held there by the piece itself.
That's cool. I like that. Nice.
Be cool to buy like the different colorways, and you could swap them if you want.
That'd be expensive, Teresa. They're $480 each, but I mean, you could do that. I really wanted the brown one. I love that one. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it looks like vintage cartoons to me. I like the brown, but no, the gray one's super nice. I actually bought this really large glass case to put it in today, so because I don't want to dust it.
Well, it's a nice pickup, a nice gift for yourself. I was a little jealous.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't normally buy things for myself, and it was funny because Amanda was like, "Oh, you bought something for yourself." Like she was surprised.
Yeah, you work hard. You got to just reward yourself every once in a while.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
Yeah, I do. I do work hard, guys.
Sure do. Actually, Theresa, I wanted to compliment you on something. I think it was last episode. It was definitely last month. You were talking about predictions for 2018. You were saying there's going to be more things and things. And so far, your predictions actually come true because this Friday, there's a new 8-inch clear shell Dunny coming out with things inside of it. So I can't pronounce. You probably know more about it than I do.
Yeah, you're right. I did talk about things, and it's happening. But it's Haru. Have you ever heard of Haru?
No, it's new to me, so that's what I was going to have you say.
Yeah, but it's called the Haru 8-inch Dunny, and they're calling it Haru the God, I'm such a butcher of names. Conpieto Fairy? Haru the Conpieto Fairy? I'm not sure, but we've only seen sneak peeks so far. I was kind of hoping we would see a full reveal before we recorded so we could talk about it a little bit more. But from what it looks like, it's a clear 8-inch Dunny shell, kind of like plush guts. But what it's filled with is little miniaturized glow-in-the-dark Dunnies and then little, like, I don't know,
those are
balls.
actually a type of Japanese candy. They're like little bumpy sugar balls.
Okay, it's like the everlasting gobstopper.
Yeah. They're like they come in like a million different colors. So, that's what that's supposed to be.
So that's what the Conpieto is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, but yes, so it's filled. So like the picture shows green and pink and blue, and it's just basically this 8-inch Dunny shell filled with these glow-in-the-dark pieces, things and things. But they've only shown a snippet of it so far, so we don't have a full reveal yet. But yeah, that's coming this upcoming weekend. So I'm waiting for the full reveal to see how I feel about it, because so far I'm intrigued, but I don't know what it fully looks like to know if I'd want to buy it or not. So I don't know if it was one of your predictions, Gary, or just something we talked about, but the whole less pre-order, more secretive drop thing is definitely sticking with Kidrobot, because I mean they just started revealing that, and it's coming this weekend. So
yeah,
they're definitely keeping things under wraps until right before release.
That's what we want, right?
I know.
You like that?
I know. I want them to reveal. What do you think, Chris, of the reveal so far? I'm intrigued.
I think it's interesting. That's an 8-inch, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things are pretty tiny that are going inside there. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, it's like a design object, and I like that. Instead of just going with paint on top of things, it's kind of breaking out of the mold a little bit. So yeah, I think it should be cool.
Personally, I think I would have preferred a 5-inch, but I totally get why they're doing the 8-inch, because they've been using that clear shell for a couple other things. So I'm sure they're trying to get more use out of it.
More bang for their buck, yeah.
Yeah, more bang for the buck kind of a thing. But I think I would have preferred a 5-inch size, because.
But they're doing a 5-inch clear one with J-Roo, so I mean they could have just used the same body.
Oh, that's true.
That is a very solid point. Yeah, they should have.
So maybe it had to do with the size of the minis that were going inside. Maybe there was some logistical reason.
Yeah.
Or not. Who knows?
Either way, it still looks cool. I'm ready for the full review.
And honestly, it could be a price point thing too, where with that many little pieces inside, if they're going to have an $80, $100 price point, it's going to seem better if it's an 8-inch versus a $100 5-inch figure.
Right.
Good point. That's a good point. I wonder how much it's going to cost.
Well, how much was the Unbox one? They did a similar one with their dino.
Yeah, that was like $300+ for their giant dino filled with dinos. Granted, it was big.
It was not going to be that much, I don't think. I hope not.
No, I hope not.
Speaking of which, did you guys happen to see that amazing collective that Kidrobot worked with? Like, I think they commissioned a bunch of pieces from a village out there in Mexico. Like they had 39 different pieces made in a variety of sizes. I know I'm going to butcher the name, but it was called Arte Murakami.
Who released this?
Oh yeah. It's the Kidrobot customs, Chris. They're like
like the beaded ones.
The beaded ones.
Yeah.
You guys see those?
Crazy.
Those are freaking ridiculous. Those are amazing.
Yeah, those are really awesome.
But they said some of them took
exciting.
up to about 400 hours to create.
Oh.
Jesus.
Well, the one thing I know about that type of beaded art, traditionally those beads are held on with wax. So don't put it in a room that's too warm.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I remember I had been to a few galleries that sold that type of art, and that was one thing that they always said: you have to keep it in a place that is climate.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because if you put it above your fireplace, it's just gonna melt.
Right, but maybe they're glued on, but the beadwork is so crazy.
It's phenomenal. I mean, I can't even imagine. They were so meticulous, so beautiful. It's just incredible. It just blew my mind that those things exist. But at the same time, thinking that some of these pieces took 400 hours to create, I can't help but think as a creator, thinking, what is their hourly wage at the end of this? Because the 5-inch ones were $500. The large 20-inch ones were like 3,200 or something like that. And I did the math. I have no idea. I'll give Kidrobot, maybe they're giving 100% proceeds to the community. I have no idea. But I was just thinking, like, what if these were being sold like at the standard 50-50 cut with a gallery at that percentage? I'm thinking. So I did the math. If it was 200 hours to create the 20-inch one, it was like $4 an hour.
Oh,
but if it took 400 hours to create the 5-inch one at $500, that's like 60 cents an hour.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And I'm sure the 400 man hours for one was probably for the 20-inch ones. But still, when you break it down just like to an hourly basis, it's pretty crazy to think.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think it's good to break stuff down into hourly, numbers for people, for collectors and non-artists out there who don't really understand how long this stuff takes, and how you do have to compromise what your wage is, because otherwise it would just be impossible to sell stuff. No, I'm really impressed with the amount of work that went into these, and they're beautiful.
They're stunning, and I think I think they all completely sold out too. 39 pieces.
That's awesome.
I don't know how. I mean, the price points on these, they were a pretty penny, but I mean they're killer. They're really, really cool.
Yeah, and they're so worth it. And again, these probably aren't being bought by the average toy collector. These are being bought by art collectors.
Yeah,
I think it's fun. I like that Kidrobot is going out and pulling different artists in, and they're selling customs of their platform. I think it's cool that they're doing that. But
yeah, and they've done this. I don't know if these are commissions or collaborations, but whatever it is, like, this is probably by far the most impressive collection that they've custom collection that they've done.
Yeah, I agree. I keep looking at them. It's fun to like zoom in and look at all the little beads.
It's mind-boggling to me. I mean, just trying to keep things symmetrical and all that sort of stuff. It's just wow.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can't even. My head is spinning just trying to keep track of that stuff. There's no way I would ever attempt anything like that.
You should make this your New Year's resolution. Learn how to do a new trade. Do some beadwork.
Okay.
Pay 60 cents an hour.
Were we going to talk about resolutions at some point?
Yes, so resolutions. I personally don't do them. I don't set any for myself, but I know people enjoy resolutions. So do you guys have any resolutions, or as a collector, Theresa, do you have any resolutions to like maybe focus or organize or anything like that? I mean, do you see yourself spending less or more this year?
I remember going into last year saying, I'm going to spend less. Buy less, spend less. Like, overall, just be better. In some ways, I think I was. Like, I tried to be more critical. But I'm not, like, coming in saying, oh, you really should try to buy less.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
The resolutions are, like, trying to improve upon something. So are you trying to... Is there anything that you want to do as a collector to improve upon, or even with the show, or just anything in general?
Okay, so I don't have any serious resolutions, but I think the only one that might be sort of serious for me related to toys this year would be organization. We've talked about it before. I am very unorganized with my displays, and I obviously keep buying. So it's getting worse and worse and worse. So I think if anything, the one thing I would try to do this year is get more organized. Get more displays.
There's like a Netflix show that just came out talking about organization or decluttering or something like that. You should watch that.
Yeah, it's called, I actually have. It's, what is it, Marie Kondo, Tidying Up?
I don't know. I
think that's what it is. It's actually a really soothing show. It's not like Hoarders. Like, you watch Hoarders and they make it this like big drama with like da-da-da music. This is a very like peaceful, soothing, tidying up show. I kind of got inspired, but more inspired of like purging other things than toys. The way that her show terms it is keep things that spark joy. It makes me want to go like clean out my closet and like clean out my drawers. But I look at my toys and I'm like, they do spark joy.
You're safe, Chris. All your stuff sparks joy in Theresa's life.
Well, that's good.
She'll still buy your cases.
I mean, considering one of the few displays I do have, the giant Thimblestump Hollow one with all the little resin babies around it, I think you're safe, Chris.
Okay. Woo!
I know. But no, anyway, so if we were some goofy resolutions I have one for George, that he will participate more in helping us with the podcast.
Yeah, right. That's never going to happen.
Because if you don't know Chris, George shows up, but he doesn't really do a lot of behind the scenes. So George, get with it this year. And then Gary, I have one for you. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Is it this? Repeat after me. Frustrated.
Frustrating. Every time I say that word now, I think of you, Chris. Frustrating. Damn it, Chris.
I like your Garyisms. Don't ever change them.
Yeah, don't change them.
But no, okay, so Chris, Gary has a terrible habit of ruining toys for me. And the way he does it is he will find toys that I like and somehow find a penis shape in them. Like, he'll look at them and then suddenly he'll just say penis. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And somehow a leg or the body or a head or something will look like a penis. And he ruins the toy. There was this really cute dinosaur I had seen recently. He was like, oh, it's a penis. I was like, what are you talking about? And then sure enough, after you look at it for a second, the neck and the head looks like a freaking penis. And I'm like, gosh darn it, Gary. Stop ruining cute toys.
It's not my fault that they look like penises. Like, I didn't design it.
It's instantly ruined for you, Gary. What about those of us who practice clean living?
No, but that's what I'm trying to prevent. Like, I'm trying to keep her house clean because she's going to see it like weeks or months later. Maybe not today, but she will see it at some point.
After you mentioned it.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I ever would have seen it if you had never seen it.
Well, maybe not you, but surely someone in your life, whether you're your parents or your brothers or boyfriend or whoever comes into your house, eventually someone's going to point that out to you, and then you're still going to see it. So I'm trying to help you out sooner than later, and you're saving money. Now you don't have to buy it.
Well, I think Gary, I think I understand why you see it in everything, even when it doesn't really.
Okay, this is good.
When it's not really there.
Why?
It's because it's because you are a creator and you create cute things that are pretty wholesome, and I do the same thing. I whenever I make something, I'm pretty like diligent about making sure there isn't anything in there that somebody can be like, oh, here's this, and. So I don't know. I'm pretty careful about that. I don't know if you are, but it makes you probably see it in everything. But
well, I don't see it in everything because I have been duped, Chris. I know, like I have been fooled in this thing, and that's why I'm trying to help Theresa out in this scenario because I know what it feels like. One time I went to the store and I fell in love with this cute little fireman ceramic bank, and I purchased it, and I was driving home happy, and I walked in the door and I showed my wife and her friend, and they instantly saw it as a phallic symbol, and it wasn't. From the paint to the shape, everything about it was penis looking. So I know what it feels like. So I was just trying to help Theresa out a little bit, but I guess I'll stop doing that.
Still, that is my.
Gary, stop doing that.
Right? Stop. And Chris, so in our Skype chat, I just shared the dinosaur toy I'm talking about, so you can see it. Like now that he has said it, I mean, it is really like there are some toys where he's seen a penis shape and it's more masked, like it's subtly there. This is like now that I see it, it's all I see.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I would have picked that out. It's just a weird shaped dinosaur to begin with, but I wouldn't have gone so far. Okay, I guess I see it. Damn it.
See, it hits you, and that's what I'm saying. I think I saved Theresa $80.
Said it.
No,
yeah.
I would never. I don't think I would have seen it without you ruining it. So stop.
So going forward, my resolution is if I see a phallic something and something, I won't let you know.
Just own, like, if I come to you, oh guys, if I show you something and I'm really, really excited and you see it, don't say anything. But if I come, like, if I say it and I'm just like, oh, what do you think of this toy? And I don't seem like I really want to buy it, you're okay to say it if there's a penis.
Yep, I'll take it to heart.
That's a good rule.
I will tell you, there's a toy on my shelf as we speak, Chris, that I bought, and I showed it to him after I bought it, and he was like, that looks like a penis. And now it's like half ruined for me. I still have it, but every time I look at it, instead of going, oh, that's such a cute toy, I'm so glad I bought it, I look at it and I go, God damn it, Gary, stop, you called it a freaking penis.
Sorry.
Hell, like I said, can't win them all. But Gary, stop doing that.
Yes. So, those are mine. I don't know if you all have any more, but those are the toy resolutions for this year.
My resolution.
Chris, do you have a toy resolution?
Oh, go ahead, Gary.
No, I have one resolution, and this is something that Theresa brought up to me. I had a habit in our Facebook Stomping Ground group is I would propose a question, and then I would answer the question several times right away. And Theresa would she would say, Gary, let the people speak. Stop commenting.
Oh yeah, you do answer your own questions.
So from now on, I'm just going to be the creator of questions in the group, but I'm not necessarily going to participate.
Maybe give yourself a time limit.
Just let it breathe a little bit before I jump in.
Yeah.
I was just poking a little fun at you. Like, it doesn't mean you should never reply. It just is. It's funny to me how you'll post a question and then I go there and it's like 5 comments from you right away and it just makes me laugh. It's like, what are you doing?
How annoying is that?
So it's not that you shouldn't participate. It just give it a little bit of time, let the group see it, and then jump in a little later. That's all.
I hear you, and I'm going to take your advice. I am just going to post and I'll lay low. But another thing, Chris, is something I also have to pay attention to is I guess my grammar's not so great. And Theresa, it turns out, she is a grammar police. She's like a grammar Nazi. She's always pouncing on me. Gary, you did this wrong. You typed that wrong. Go fix it. Go fix it now.
Gary, you can't end this sentence in a proposition.
So
no hanging participles.
I will try to be better about editing my own comments.
Hey, Gary. You should be proud of me because in the history when you posted on Facebook, you messed up a little and I didn't say anything and you fixed it yourself.
Oh, I'm patting myself on the back.
I was good. I'm already working on it. I'm keeping it to myself.
Nice.
I think this has been really healthy, guys. This therapy session has been really great.
That was a little Marsham couch moment.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But Chris, do you have any toy resolutions?
I don't have any toy resolutions. Of course, because we run a company, a couple of different companies, we have to have goals for the year. And as the companies grow and as we do more stuff, we kind of have to look at what we did the previous year and go, okay, do we want to try to top this year, or do we want to, we have to at least stay on par with this year. And there's some years where you're investing more and just producing more things. And so we're kind of looking at that stuff right now. And I definitely have goals, but I have 3 projects that have just been sitting around here forever that I'm trying to get out the door. So I guess those are resolutions. But sort of a personal work-related goal that I want for myself is, I used to post 5 drawings a week, every week. And I might kind of pull back from that a little bit. I might go a little bit easier on myself in terms of, what I'm producing. I might want to try to produce more quality over quantity, because that amount of output on top of designing toys and doing stuff for, all kinds of merchandise. I mean, the amount of stuff that we put out, Theresa, it seems like every week something's happening.
Y'all are crazy.
It's a little unrealistic sometimes. So for myself, I'm gonna try to go easier on myself. Try to not put insane expectations on myself in terms of workload. But yeah, that's about it. That's just like sort of a positive mental health thing.
It's a good one, though.
No, you deserve that. Don't kill yourself. I mean, I still hope you'll do morning scribbles
I
every
will,
now
for
and
sure.
then.
You'll see
But
when
yeah,
on
I
Monday.
don't think, I'm not sitting there going like, oh, Chris didn't post one today. Like, you know.
Well, I would put that amount of pressure on myself every single day, and I would start feeling it physically. I'd be like, okay, I haven't posted yet, or I haven't done a drawing yet, and it would be getting later in the day, and and I'd be working on other things, and it was starting to rule my life. And then after just stopping for a while, after just totally stopping, and nothing happened, the house didn't burn down,
Right.
Asteroid didn't hit the Earth, everything's fine. I realized that I don't have to do it. I mean, it was a really good exercise to do that many, and I did it since 2011. Been doing it for a few years.
Yeah, well, and you passed the 1,000 mark, right?
Oh, I'm well past 1,000. I think I'm closer to 2,000.
Wow.
So,
Oh, geez. What
that
number did you hit? Was it your 1,000th post or something?
That was my 1,000th post on Patreon.
Oh, okay.
So I had started years before that. Yeah, it's pretty close to 2,000, and that's not counting the ones that are in sketchbooks that I didn't number. So I mean, I have enough content. I could literally go back and just ride that for like 5 years if I wanted to. But I like making new stuff. It's just the amount that I was making was it was starting to eclipse all the other things I needed to work on and my life a little bit. So yeah, I needed to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, and you do, like you said, you have plenty to reference. And I know you even pulled, it's kind of transitioned into Thimblestump Hollow too, but I know you pulled into some of your archives for some of those characters. So I think it's good. You've got tons of stuff. And shoot, you want any recommendations, Chris? I'll gladly cull through some old scribbles and be like, make that a toy. Make that a toy. Make that
I
a
won't
toy.
say no to that.
Well, alrighty then. I'm adding that to my list.
Chris, I have a question for you. So,
yes.
in designer toys, the North American market is not nearly as strong as what's going on in Asia. You know, a lot of companies are focusing. Actually, we just had I talked to David Horvath a couple weeks ago during Christmas break. His episode will be next week. But even someone like David Horvath, he was talking about how strong the Asian market is, but he's primarily focused on just Japan. Do you, as an artist or a brand, are you thinking about that Asia market? Because I know, like, even Kidrobot, they're doing a lot. They seem to be focusing more on China these days. We're starting to see them doing like China exclusives, and it seems like more North American artists and companies are more aware and setting themselves up for the Asia market as well. Are you doing that as an individual artist or as a brand?
Well, so Thimblestump Hollow as a brand has a lot of things happening right now, and I can't really talk about a lot of them because it's not that there's any big secret, but it's more that things are sort of at beginning stages and we're in the planning stage on a bunch of different things. But that is definitely a consideration. But anytime you can diversify working with different companies, and especially like China is the biggest, I think, opportunity for people because we can't sell online to China because they're our internet, our stores are blocked from them. They can't. It's hard. So the best thing that we can do is partner with people in China that can sell our toys in China. That's definitely something that's on our radar, and it's definitely something we're looking into. And we have some projects going with some companies in Asia that I don't know if we're specifically looking just for the Asian market. I mean, I know it's booming, and we've looked into those conventions, those insane conventions that are happening over there, and they just make my head spin right now. I have a hard enough time just keeping the 3 conventions that we do here straight. Yeah. But I can't see myself being like Simone from Tokidoki and showing up to a convention every 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. But, it is definitely something we're looking at and thinking about because Thimblestump Hollow is definitely going to grow, and it's going to grow here in the States. But we're looking at retailers overseas because we get a lot of complaints from people that, shipping internationally is a bear. It's so expensive. And there's a lot of casual collectors that just won't buy things because it's too expensive from, they're in Europe and they can't buy from here because the cost of the shipping is more than the actual piece, and then they get hit with taxes when it gets there. So, looking into distributing in other countries, other regions of the world, like directly from there, you ship everything in mass from wherever it's being produced to Luxembourg or whatever, and then it ships to all of Europe. It's just a smarter way of doing business, and we definitely do have fans over there, and it's something we want to do, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, but it sounds like you definitely will be. So it sounds like there's just nothing but room for great stuff for you guys in Thimblestump Hollow too. And so congrats on Thimblestump Hollow too, by the way.
Thank you.
I heard it's doing really well. Lots of great releases. Several colorways already released. It's doing extremely well at Hot Topic, I hear. I want to know when you guys are figuring out like the logistics of all the different, what stores get colorways and all that sort of stuff, who is involved with the logistics? Are you and Amanda just the designers, or are you involved on the logistical side of it as well?
So the first series, we definitely weren't involved in the business side. We were, hey, we really want to make these things, and then we made them, and then we'll figure out how to sell them later. And I mean, it was more organized than that, but it was definitely a leap of faith to make them and hope that they sold. And when Hot Topic came along and saw us at San Diego Comic-Con, saw a Cardboard Spaceships booth at San Diego Comic-Con, they got very interested. And after the first series sold really well in their stores, they said, okay, what else do you have? And we hadn't even started planning Series 2 yet. And that really kind of started the gears going. And, Cardboard Spaceship's a small company, like all the companies are. So to have something like that, an opportunity like that arise is a really big deal. So we said, okay, well, we all have to, rally the horses and figure out how to get this done. And so for Series 2, Amanda and I were definitely really involved with Jamie Brill from Cardboard Spaceship and in figuring out, okay, how many are going to Hot Topic, how many are going to be left, of what color, and yeah, we definitely talk about every single detail of this project, and that's something that I've learned a lot about business since doing this, and Jamie has learned a lot about distribution and how distributing to mass retail is kind of a nightmare because they're very strict about when they want things, and it has to show up on a specific day or you get charged for it.
Sure.
So, yeah, so that's something that, like, the sort of small vinyl world, like, we're used to showing up at, ship it to my plastic heart and it'll get there whenever, they don't care. Like, Vin just wants it after he pays for it. But figuring out, how many of what color we're going to make and what colors we're going to make, we figure all that stuff out. And, Jamie's on the phone with the factory figuring out how much things are going to cost. And Amanda's making changes on the packaging at the last minute, because things are constantly changing because the box is the wrong size. So we have to change. It's just, how these projects go.
Sure.
But with the growth of it, now we are ready to kind of take the next steps and see what else we can do with it. And I think we're at the beginning stages of possibly designing this next series. But we're not pulling the trigger on producing anything just yet. But you might see some more colorways of the second series.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about right now. Just trying to set ourselves up for the next year. And we have some other partners that we're working with right now that we're probably not going to announce yet. The information is out there, but these things are delicate.
Now, how much of this stuff is like figured out before you actually make your order with the factory? So, like you said, Hot Topic reached out to you. What are you doing next? Are you getting like a large purchase order for a certain quantity?
Yes.
And like all of I know you got store exclusives for all the candy and colorways. Did you get all that stuff lined up before you even go into production with the factory, so you know how much, You got order,
Yes.
PO is filled. Okay.
Yeah, and the amount that were produced for the second series was about the same. It was a little bit more than the first series. And the interesting thing is that, if I told you the numbers, you'd be surprised. It would sound like a lot.
Yeah.
But in terms of mass retail, I mean, Hot Topic has 600 stores.
Right.
And we had enough to put 3 cases in every store. If you think about 3 cases is 12 figures. It's 36 figures.
Times 600.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
That's not a lot for one store. If you think about a mall and people are showing up in there, and we started panicking because we're like, that's not enough. But it's a huge number.
Yeah.
Like, it could have sold out in a week, and then what do you do? Then
Right.
because we're small and because we don't have the kind of capital that these large companies have, to get something like that made is not just a trip to the bank, So, yeah, we had to be creative about getting this done. And so far, if you look on Hot Topic's website, I think we're the number 3 seller in blind bags right now.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and we're selling it at a different price point than all the other stuff that they're selling too. So I have to thank our fans and fans telling other people, and just sort of like this word of mouth thing, because I mean Hot Topic hasn't even promoted it, because we're still pretty small fish in terms of what they sell. I mean, they're selling major brands and major entertainment brands, and we can't compete with Harry Potter. So they're gonna talk to those companies and just make money off of our stuff quietly, as long as they're happy with what our sales are, and they're not losing money on us. I think everything's fine. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this year.
I have to ask you about this whole colorway thing.
Okay.
So you teased us with fruit salad at San Diego, where you released 4 figures in that colorway, and then you kind of said, well, that might be it. So is there a thought that you might finish that colorway out?
I think saying there's a thought is accurate.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a new resolution or wish that it actually happens, because it's one of my favorites. So if that helps at all.
Yeah, I mean, so the reason, I don't know if I ever touched on this, but the reason why we only released 4 was because we were trying to get stuff. I mean, you know how it is when conventions are coming up, you're rushing to get product, and there was no way that we could get the full colorway by that first, release. So we're like, well, can we get 4? And getting 200 of each of those wasn't an issue. We could get those shipped from China, and it wasn't really that big a deal. So that was the whole reason why we only did 4. And we kind of forgot about it. We kind of forgot that we didn't do all of them. And we're like, oh, hey, we only did 4. So yeah, we're definitely talking about doing more. And we're talking about doing a couple other things too. So no promises, but we're talking about it right now.
Nice. I like what I'm hearing. And if I may throw a suggestion in the box, is I love the minifigures of Thimblestump Hollow, but I want more. I want more larger stuff. A lot of people are doing XL sizes with their favorite characters, and I think you could do that with Thimblestump Hollow. I would love to see a 10-inch Got About Husky Shuffler, or
Gary, you're giving me a heart attack.
Well, I'm not the only one thinking this. I mean, his turtle, the Oganack, did really well in the small size, and now it's an XL size. So I think a lot of us would love to see some of the Thimblestump Hollows in an XL size, or a ceramic cookie jar, or something larger, or plush.
Well, I will say that right now nothing is off the table in terms of ideas, and it's definitely a strange and exciting time for Thimblestump Hollow. We see a lot of potential in it, and more than we ever thought. Like, it was kind of just this fun thing that what would happen if Chris and Amanda got together and made a toy series? What would it look like? And that's what came of the first series. And now it's like, okay, we know what this brand looks like. We know what it feels like. We know what directions we want to go with it, and what direction we don't want to go with it. And Yeah, there's a lot of talking happening right now, and it's not just Amanda and I. It's,
When do we see
bigger.
you guys at the licensing expo at Las Vegas or some of the other licensing expos or a toy fair?
In New York.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that let's just say there's people out there talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't. Say,
Nope.
I mean, like I said, it's not a big secret,
No.
but it's grown outside of the scene, as it were, and but the thing is, we still want to keep it. We never want it to be like. Not that I ever want to like talk badly about anybody, but we never want it to be that thing that like it shows up as a Netflix special and everybody groans because the life is gone from it. Like we want it to kind of remain this holistic, organically grown brand that we can kind of do whatever we want with, and we're not beholden to studios and all this.
You're gonna like next week's episode with David Horvath then, because that's very much how he
Well,
was with the Ugly Doll brand. He was, he had so many offers from studios wanting to buy the company outright, and just we want to put your stuff all over Walmarts and Targets, and he said no, I want to. We're going to do what we want for this thing. And it sounds like you kind of had that same thought. Like, this is your baby. You're very protective of it, and you're going to do what's right by it. And so I'm excited to see where it all goes.
Yeah, and thanks. And, like, David's definitely sort of one of my role models in terms of what he's done with Ugly Dolls. And, I mean, he's like, everybody knows what they are, and we're all like, it's one of those things that, like, we're all proud of it. Like, we look at what he did, and it's just like, that's awesome. Like, he basically made Hello Kitty. Like it's amazing. It's synonymous. Everybody knows what it is.
And he did it in such a short period of time, not on a pre-established thing. Like, it's kind of what your Thimblestump Hollow is. Yeah. Most of us don't know what the storyline is. All we know is they're aesthetically pleasing, and we're drawn to them, and we want to buy them. That's kind of how Ugly Dolls was. For 15, 16 years, I was buying Ugly Dolls and ceramics and wind-up toys and tin toys and plush, anything and everything they had, just purely based on the design alone, and I didn't know the bios and the characters of the stories. Like, you can pull off something without that previous connection to it. And I think Thimblestump Hollow has that. I think you have that magic with your brand, too.
Well, I'm glad that you said all that, because that's kind of the way that we think about it. I mean, we have little like snippets here and there about like things that we think about the story, and I hesitate to say the world, because it isn't really a world. It's a cast of characters, and they all have little personalities, and but they're short, and then you inject whatever you feel into it.
And that's part of the fun of it, Chris. For me, it's like I once created a really goofy video for Chris and Amanda Gary of like pretending I was the characters and making up voices for them, because yes, I'm that nerdy, but like it's fun to like pretend what they are, what they're like, or if they have like a goofy voice, or if they're grumpy or whatever. But like, there's something fun about not having backstories, because you can kind of invent them for yourself. And like, I always call the little resin characters Thimblestump Hollow babies, and I'm like, oh, like Pipsqueak looks like Atticus's baby, and like all this kind of stuff. So it's fun for me. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a child, but like, it's fun to be able to look at them and be like, oh, like, I think this one's like this.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you go to like, well, again, speaking of the Ugly Doll with David Horvath, and you'll like next week's episode, but talking about when we saw the Ugly Doll trailer come out, that was one of those things where for 15, 16 years or whatever, all of us have been enjoying the Ugly Doll brand. We didn't truly know what the voices and the personalities were exactly like, and now that we've seen the trailer, that's kind of been instilled. So we might still have something as to what the characters are like, or more. For me, they're more ominous than what the trailer made them seem like. But my kids are now going to grow up with that Ugly Doll movie and what's on Hulu, and they're going to see Ugly Dolls in a very different way than what I've been seeing them.
Well, the thing is, like, there's character designers out there who they design characters for animation, and they build in a backstory. Like Jim Groman is amazing. He every single thing that he makes a mark on a piece of paper, he's got a backstory for it. And I love that. I love that kind of narrative, but that's never like even when I was a kid, that isn't what attracted me to things. It was just purely what they looked like. Like, I don't care how crappy the movie was. If it had a monster in it, I was watching it. And that was, even up to what I do now I'm not thinking about these deep narratives. I just purely think aesthetically, what are the components of these characters and drawings that speak to me and evoke some type of emotion without it being, I'm trying to break down connections between people and trying to make something that, there's so many things we can be mad at each other about, especially now in this world right now. And there's so many reasons to be angry at people. And, I disagree with people all the time. But if I can build this place where everybody can come, and it doesn't matter what you're bringing to the table, and everybody can look at it the same way and get the same thing out of it. It sounds real hippy dippy and sort of like this perfect place, but I want that. Like, I want that myself. So if I can create that, and that's what we want to do with Thimblestump Hollow too. It's you already go through life enough feeling like you're left out or you're different, or and I just don't want to contribute to any of that. So that's what we want with Thimblestump Hollow too. It's just an extension of the way that we make our work.
I like it.
We're just trying to make people happy, and make ourselves happy at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
But it's not about like what's cool or but if people like it, that's awesome. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, and that's totally fine too. But yeah, I don't know. And another thing, like, just one more thing I want to say about Thimblestump Hollow is like, we didn't know that it was gonna grow even to this point. And my sort of goal now, as I'm getting older, I mean, I'm not, I'm talking like I'm 60 years old, but I'm definitely not young anymore. So the older I get, the more people we get involved with our companies and organization, the more I feel this responsibility to take care of people. And I want this brand to grow to the point where the people that are involved, myself, Amanda, my kids, Steve, Jamie, everybody who's involved, I want them to be taken care of by it. I want this thing to just be successful enough that we don't have to worry about, if somebody has to go to the doctor or get a root canal, they're like, oh man, I can't afford that. Like, we just, that it's weird that that's like become a goal, but having peace of mind is like the best thing. So that's like what we're working towards, and it feels like a real grown-up goal, but that's definitely, I mean, it's a logistical thing, and that's the reality of life, and everybody has bills to pay. But if we can build this thing and take care of our kids and Steve's kids and Jamie and his dog, like, hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
More power to it.
No, that's awesome. You mentioned that you want Thimblestump just to make people happy and yourselves happy. So let's make a listener happy. Let's kick off this new year with a giveaway. So what we're going to do is Umi Toy Hawaii has given us a Canyon colorway of the Gem Nibbler, which was an edition of 85 pieces. And they are allowing, he gave it to us to give away to one of our listeners. So what we want to do is...
Loaf is such a good dude.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he reached out to us wanting to do this for our listeners because he enjoys the show. And so I really appreciate that. Thanks so much, Lofa. And, the Gem Nibbler is a Series 2 Thimblestump Hollow figure. It's already sold out. So someone out there definitely wants this. And I want to ensure a listener gets it. You've already listened to us now for an hour and 20 minutes. And how can we ensure that a listener gets it? I don't want it just have it be an Instagram contest and just a lurker or anybody and everybody has a chance at getting it. So you guys have any ideas on how we can give this away?
I got an idea.
Okay.
So I think I'm with you. I agree. I don't think we should do any kind of reposting or anything like that. Let's try to make it insider only. But what if so every time we have a new episode, we do a post on Instagram for that episode, right? So we have an episode photo we post. So what we could have people do is comment something specific on that post, but it'll be kind of like a secret code kind of thing. It's not like, I'm here to enter for the Gem Nibbler. Instead, it's more like secretified.
Okay.
We could do like a fill in the blank kind of thing, or like just a single word answer, but it's like coded or masked. Maybe like Gary likes to nibble blank.
Dude, that's not going to get trashed real fast. Can we make it you? Because that's going to go dark and real fast.
No! Way to do you.
I'm fine with that. I'm game for it. So, okay.
What do you think,
I like
Chris?
that.
Hey, this is your guys' podcast. It's out of my control.
Hey, I'm game for it. That's totally fine. So I like your idea, Theresa. So let's just run with that. So if you want a chance to win the giveaway of the exclusive canyon colorway of the Gem Nibbler from Umi Toys Hawaii, all you have to do is go to our Instagram account. It's Marsham Toy Hour. Find the image for this episode, and then in the comments, just fill in the blank for this sentence. Gary likes to nibble blank. Please be gentle, but I also look forward to reading your responses. Also, be sure to follow Umi Toys Hawaii on Instagram. That's UMITOYS Hawaii. And we'll announce the winner on our next record. So we've already recorded with David Horvath, which is next week. So in 2 weeks.
That's so great. Thank you, guys.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, and I think that was... I don't think that was the last figure that was released. I think it was the second to the last. So... all of the colorways right now are currently out. So if you're a completionist, it's possible.
Yes. And we can do we'll do a really quick recap. So for those that are newer to Thimblestump Hollow and Thimblestump Hollow 2, so the exclusive retailer colorway is called Canyon. And if you follow Cardboard Spaceship, they actually have a really cool graphic that shows each of the colorways and the store that's selling them. That I think is a really good, helpful cheat sheet. And there are still some in stock, so those are out there. You can grab those. And then I know you, Chris, directly are selling the birthday party colorway as well as some other retailers out there. And then the Hot Topic exclusive colorway is called Unicorn Galaxy. That's obviously only in Hot Topic, but they also have it in stock online. It kind of comes in and out sometimes, but they have some really cool sales every now and again, like buy one, get one half off and all of that are really cool to take advantage of. And then the other colorway is Succulent, but that is the Chase colorway, and you have to just have a chance to get it when you buy blind boxes. It's kind of a needle in the haystack sort of deal. So.
Oh, and the Succulent colorway is both in the birthday party cases and the Hot Topic exclusive cases. Yes. So, yeah, the colorways, those are mostly... So, Amanda is the color genius between the two of us, and she painstakingly came up with... I don't even know how many we had. It was way more than we produced.
I bet. So, and I love all the names that you guys have of the colorways, too.
Naming them was hilarious. Yeah, I think that she... And a lot of it's just we named them based on what the color looked like. But, yeah, Succulent, she was definitely looking at succulents and sort of, making them look like succulent plants. And yeah, Unicorn Galaxy, she for sure was designing specifically with Hot Topic in mind, and they loved it. So we gave them a choice of a couple of different ones, and they picked that one, but we knew they were going to.
Okay.
Yeah, it totally not Hot Topic. I think has transitioned a lot, but it definitely has a Hot Topic vibe for sure.
Yeah, and just to talk about that super quick about Hot Topic. I mean, if you're my age and you went into a Hot Topic in the '90s, it is not the same.
Yeah. It's not.
It is definitely geared more towards sort of fandom collectibles. I mean, you could still go in there and get a My Chemical Romance T-shirt, but and earrings and stuff like that. But it's 2/3 of the store is toys and collectibles.
Yep. Now, don't take away my memory though. Is there still a goth emo type person working the cash register?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So
yeah. And one thing I will say too is like big squares like me. I mean, I literally own no clothes that aren't black. So all my clothes are black. But I'm a 42-year-old square dad. Walking into Hot Topic. Don't be afraid because all the associates are so friendly. And the one thing that I found out is they love working there. they stick around for years too, working at those stores, and they're really nice people to talk to. And like Theresa said, they have all kinds of sales, and if you buy a certain amount of merchandise from them, you get they're called Hot Topic bucks, I believe, and you can save hot cash. That's what it is. So you keep that until a certain date, and then you can go in, and after I think you spend $30, you get like $15 off or something like that. So if you're a collector of stuff, and they have a lot of good shirts and things too. If your kids love anime, there's tons of anime shirts, and go in there and then collect the hot cash, and then go in and get blind boxes cheap. Yep. No, it's a really good way, and they have quite a large variety of blind boxes, and it's not just fandom. I mean, there's a lot of Tokidoki stuff. I know Quirky Monster had her little embers dragons in there. They do sell Dunnies in there, so it is definitely a place to go, and most people probably don't even know that.
No, I'm glad you're kind of saying all this, because it's funny, because for the longest time I did not go into Hot Topic for that very reason. It was this like goth hardcore type of store. Like, I felt weird going in because I didn't fit. And like, I remember when they started selling more and more toys, I was like, I really want to go in there because I really want to go find this piece. But like, am I going to look weird walking in? And you realize it's just not, it's not like it was. And just like you said, the people, at least in my store, are incredibly nice. Like, you walk in and they want to talk, and they just want to talk toys, and they're telling you about all these deals. And it's not like weird pressure, like buy. It's just friendly. They're just friendly and say hi to you, and you don't feel weird walking in. It's fun stores. And just same with like FYE and all those other stores popping up that used to have a different vibe or really weren't big on toys. It's happening, I think, not just in Hot Topic, but some other stores as well. And you just kind of can walk in and find stuff that you dig. So
I have to say, that was a really impressive tag team commercial for Hot Topic. Good job, guys. If only they were a real sponsor of this podcast.
Hey, they're partners of mine.
No, but the scene is changing. Like you mentioned, FYE and Hot Topic, and now we're seeing I Am Retro and other, we're starting to get a little slice of that little more mainstream sort of, stores into the designer toy scene. We're getting eyeballs looking our direction, so that's good. But Chris, I want to say we're running long, so I want to say thank you for coming on. And I will say, Chris, we are going to see Fatty Whooper at some point in 2019.
Oh my goodness. 2019? This year?
This year. The molds have been found, and
excellent.
I'm already getting things rolling. So,
oh my goodness, this is good news.
Good news, right? It was a nice surprise during the break, but so looking forward to that. We're going to start off the new year with some nice releases, hopefully. Chris, thank you much for starting off the season 4 of Marsham Toy Hour as being our guest. You were awesome, but sadly, it's time to start wrapping this up. So why don't each of you take a brief moment and let our listeners know where they can find you? Chris, go first.
Well, you can find me on all the social medias at Chris Ryniak, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, YouTube, Facebook. Just look up my name, Chris Ryniak.
Okay. Theresa.
I didn't know you had a Twitter.
I do.
I'll have to go look it up. I never tweet, but
yeah, it's where I put all my stupid snarky jokes.
Alrighty.
You can give her another place to stalk you, Chris.
Well, anyway, I'm Theresa Hawkins. If you'll want to find me, check me out on Instagram. My username is tmhawk24.
I'm Gary Ham. You can find me at superham.com or Gary Ham on Instagram. This has been the Marsham Toy Hour. We do this every week, not because we have to.
Because we get paid to.
Oh, yeah, we don't get paid.
We don't get paid to.
We're going to work on that this year, though, aren't we, Theresa?
Oh, you're going to start paying me?
No.
Sweet.
No, I'm going to work on getting paid.
I gotcha.
And then maybe I can trickle that down to you and George.
Okay. I'll see you another shirt.
So until our next transmission, we're signing off. Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.